Hiya, Amy here, and I'm going to use a 3D embossing folder with some metallic cardstock to show you two different ways to make these fun birthday cards. Now I have this huge new die from Lawn Fawn. It's a happy birthday die, and I have this 3D embossing folder from altenew. It's called Flower Bed. I have some inexpensive metallic cardstock. I believe I got it from Joanne, but use whatever you have on hand. And I'm going to use these items a couple different ways. And here's the first card that I'm going to show you. Stick around to the end and I'll show you a different variation with these same products. But you can see there is embossing on that die cut, and it does line up with the embossing folder. So I'm going to show you how I did that. But I'm just going to cut off the top and put this huge die on some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 110-pound cardstock. I'm going to use my mint tape from scrapbook.com and run that through my die cutting machine. I'm also going to load up a piece of the metallic cardstock through the actual embossing folder, and I'll do these both through my die cutting machine off screen. So I'm just going to carefully peel this back and pop it out, but I absolutely love that all these pieces are connected, even the tittle. So you don't have to worry about little fiddly bits or anything like that. It's all connected, and it's a nice, huge, imposing size for the front of your card base. So I'm very excited to add this to my stash. So I'm just using my pokey tool and kind of removing all the little innards and popping out those pieces here. Just shove all this aside and then check this out. Isn't that gorgeous? I can't believe the detail. I can never get enough of these 3D embossing folders. So I did cut it down slightly smaller than A2 size. You can see there's a little white border that is a card base of the same 110-pound cardstock. And I do have that extra little strip. You'll see I'm going to put that on the inside of the card. But here's a trick that I recently learned from Chris Stokes. I saw her do this on a video recently, and I will link her video in the video description box if you want to check it out. But basically, she showed how to create a little hinge, if you will, with some low-tack tape, just so you can keep this with the exact same impression as the panel behind it. So you could probably run these two pieces together at the same time through your embossing folder, but this is also quite easy. So you just kind of line it up where you want it on the panel, and then use a little piece of tape as a hinge and run it through. And then this way it will have the exact same impression on the sentiment that it does on the panel below. So again, I saw Chris Stokes do this recently, so check out her video. I kind of recently discovered her videos, and her accent is fabulous, and I love watching her stuff. So I'll link that below, as well as all the products that I used. So if you expand the video description box below and scroll down, that's where you'll find that information. So here, just be careful pulling back your adhesive here, not to rip your cardstock. But then I'm just going to line this back up on top of the embossed metallic folder. Or not folder, embossed metallic panel. There you go. Not enough coffee, yay! And I'm just going to attach this panel directly to the card base with some tape runner here, just leaving that nice white border, and then I will use liquid glue to attach down this sentiment. So I do need to kind of move it around a little bit, but it does kind of catch when it's in the right place because it is lining up with the embossing below it. And I have my liquid adhesive here, my Barely Art glue, and I'm just going to put some of that on the back of this before I attach it down. And you would want to put something on top of it just to make sure you give it a chance to stick with all that raised dimension and everything from the embossing. So I'm just going to put this down into place here once I get it lined up with the design. But this is just kind of a fun optional step. You can absolutely leave it just with the regular die cut and not have that added texture on it, but I just thought that was a fun way to kind of give it a little something unexpected. Here I'm using some liquid glue just to add that extra little strip onto the inside of the card, just to kind of continue the design from the front and give it a little something extra. And here's the first card. Stick around just a moment. I'll show you the second card that I made off screen, but you can see it's got that awesome dimension, or texture rather, on the die cut, which matches the embossing on the back panel. So that's the first finished card. And then here's another option. So I just did white embossing, so very clean and simple. And then I did the same bronzy metallic cardstock with the die cut without that added texture. So these cards came together super quickly. If you need to add a bunch of birthday cards to your stash, I definitely recommend products like this because they really make quick and easy cards for batching. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. I'll link all the products below, and I'll check you next time. Thank you. Bye.